I was just, oh Lord, help me. And nobody. I'm sorry. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Here I am again, Mai, giving you a new episode on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell so that you will get updated every time I release a new video on my channel. In today's video, I'd like to share with you guys some of my life experiences. It's all about my life experiences that I cried so much to the point that I blamed God for not granting them to me. I won't share all of those because it will just take too long. I only share those major experiences that had profound effect on my life. I am doing this to inspire you, especially those who are experiencing right now the deepest part of their lives. I know a lot of people right now are under pressure because of the situation we are in right now, the pandemic. Just hang in there, guys, because we are not alone, and you are not alone in your problem. Don't worry about that. For as long as you know how to keep stronger with the help of God, and you can face whatever trials you're going through in your life right now. Always remember that there is always a rainbow after every kind of rain that comes from the sky. I'm sharing this to give you a way not to give up life, that there are always ways for you to stand up. There are always a lot of ways for us to reach the kind of dreams we wanted to achieve in our lives. It seemed like everything that I wanted to achieve in my life before was so hard to take that I had to experience extreme hardship first before I'm going to achieve what I aspire to. So that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, to let you know that the plan of God isn't always the easiest, but it is the best. And there are always a lot of trials that we go through along the way in order for us to get out from the kind of life that we are experiencing right now, or you are experiencing right now. To God be the glory. I can tell that my life before was very far from the kind of life that I have right now. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to be emotional because I want it to be an inspiration, but please bear with me because this is really a very important things in my life. That's why I can't stop being emotional, because I can't imagine how God has changed my life, how He is able to let me find my family right now, that I am so grateful. So that's why I am sharing this experience with you, so that you will be stronger in your life and you fight whatever the kind of hardship you are dealing right now. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me cool down a bit. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I don't want to be dramatic here. I'm sharing this just in case you're experiencing almost similar stories to mine at this period in your life right now. And at least it can give you a way not to give up. However, to resist any kinds of trials that you're going through right now. Just hang in there. The first thing that really affected me was my giving up on my first teaching job in the Philippines. In the beginning, my life as a teacher was not that very difficult because I received a monthly salary from the barangay. By the way, I was just a volunteer teacher and the barangay paid me. However, 6 months later, or maybe 3 months, I don't know if my memory serves me right, something like that, the governor's office in the province had a program to cover all the salary of volunteer teachers. That's where my Calvary began. because the salaries weren't released monthly. It was not even released on time. Oftentimes, it was released within 6 months' time or more, and when it was released, it was not even enough to pay all the exceeding debts that I had. It was very, very difficult. Imagine that I was working and maybe people thinking I earned money, but actually I didn't have. I was really having the hard time at that time. It was really difficult because I didn't have any other source that could really support me in my daily needs. Most especially that my mother was already dead. She died early. So at that time, it seemed like I was alone. And it seemed like I was the only hope in the family because I was the only one who finished college at that time. And they really expected me to bring the hardship out in our family. And that was a big responsibility. The real difficulty of life was even with the food we eat, we didn't have. Yes, we had a little, but it was so hard to get it. There was even a time where, this is very hard, guys, to share with you, but I'm gonna share it with you just for you to be strong, just for you to move on, and just for you to carry life over, just for you to be persistent and to be resilient to whatever kind of hardship you're going through right now. There was a time because we were having so much difficulty in life that I was nagging my brother because he was, involved with drugs before. But no, right now, he's very clean. He's not doing that anything at all. He has good family right now. Praise the Lord. At that time, I was nagging him. I was so angry because he involved himself with that kind of thing. I told him to stop doing that thing because it's not good for his body. And I couldn't really forget this. We were eating at that time. He cooked this kind of soup. He bought some fish and cooked it. And while we were eating, I told him about that thing because there were a lot of his friends came to our home, and I know what was the intention. And I told him to stop doing that thing, and I didn't want him to do that. And he even told me, yeah, I didn't want to continue this, but right now, how can we eat if I don't do it? The food we're eating right now is coming even from that thing. And I cried. I didn't let him see me. I'm so sorry. Sometimes we couldn't just judge people why they're doing that. Sometimes they have their main reasons why they're doing such thing. I told myself I wanted to help. I didn't even have the income. That's what I told you. It took a long time before my salary was being released. It was by bulk before they released it. When it was released, it's not enough to pay the debts. It was not even a salary. Maybe it's just an allowance or a stipend. It's only 2,000 pesos every month. Imagine that. It's only 2,000 pesos every month. And it took a long time before they gave to the volunteer teachers. Even the fare of going to school I didn't have. There's a teacher there working in the elementary. I was a high school teacher. So there's a teacher there working in the elementary who had a scooter. Every morning just kept on praying, I hope he would pass by. Nobody would ride on his back, on his scooter. So that I didn't have to worry about my fare. The place where I worked before was quite far from the place where I live. If I'm gonna walk from the place where I live going to that place, maybe people were thinking, why is she walking? She's a teacher. There was also pride in their mixed emotions. People in the Philippines have great respect to the teachers, especially in the countryside. They respect teachers so much that I was very embarrassed even to borrow money to anybody. The lesson there was not to be proud of every success you've achieved in life, because you really have no destination if you apply pride in yourself or in your life. At that time, that was my first decent job. As I said, teachers are highly respected. And so I was very proud, and then maybe trying to show everyone, oh, I have a job right now. I didn't even wait for so long. But that was only a volunteer job. Actually, it was me who offered myself to volunteer, because it was also my way of having the experience. I thought it was only me who did the volunteer at that time. I was just shocked that 3 months or 6 months later, the province had the program of covering the wage for all volunteer teachers. So I was even happy at that time. But then it was a disaster. Sometimes we need to compose ourselves, to put ourselves where we are, because at that time it was a mix of having a job and my pride. I have the pride in here that, hey, I am a teacher, I have a job right now, but also I need to be practical, that although I work as a teacher, but I didn't have enough income. So I should have faced the reality that that was the situation I was in at that time. But then I had that pride. Pride makes us artificial, but humility makes us real. Although it was hard, I stayed there. I questioned God if that job was really for me, because why am I experiencing all kinds of hardship right now? I couldn't tell it to anybody, even to my family, because they look at me as their inspiration, and I don't want to disappoint them. That was so hard, and I don't want to always tell that story to my colleagues. So I just consume everything here in my heart, and that was so hard. And that was also the time that I kept on asking God, what is really your purpose? What I'm doing right now, is it really worthy to push through? Do I need to stay here, God? Is this really the right job for me? However, pride and fears overcame. That's the dangerous thing, guys. Whenever you have pride with you, it will really destroy everything in your life. That's why it's really good to be always humble, face the reality, and accept whatever the consequences you are facing in your life. It was the pride who often whispered to me, oh, they're not gonna respect you anymore if you quit. Oh my God, what should I do? If I'll be staying here and I couldn't find another job, people gonna laugh at me. That was my thought in my head. But guys, remember this, never ever think of what other people are thinking about you. Never ever let other people rule over your life. Accept reality, accept the fact, accept everything that is happening in your life. Be strong, keep going, and be resilient to any kind of life challenges that you're going through. And here comes this fear that often drove me the thought about the kind of risks I'm going to face if ever I gonna stop my job. It's so difficult to weigh things out, and I didn't know what to do. I was just, oh Lord, help me. And nobody. I'm so happy in my life right now, guys. It's just that I couldn't stop myself crying, remembering the past. That time, my pride kept telling me I can't look for any other decent job. My reasoning power said it's pointless for you to stay there. You are not earning at all. You are having the hard time. Go on, move on. Look for another opportunity. My experience in life said it's gonna be risky for you to find another good job, because you know the fact that it's very difficult to find a good job. So I was very, very confused. I thought, what shall I do? What shall I do, and how could I change my life? But then my heart whispered, why not give it a try? I asked, what kind of try? I have tried everything. My heart said, okay, just keep on going. If you feel that you're not strong enough to be there, then stop and move on. And so I endured all the hardships and obstacles that came along my way and dreamed that the Lord would grant me the desire of my heart. And I was just lucky that I had very generous colleagues. I had very understanding colleagues. Ma'am Rebecca Morales, Ma'am Tilay Silvestri, Ma'am Galiera, Ma'am Beth Tamayo, and Sir Bukel. Sir Bukel, he's helping me a lot that time. I even remember when my father got an accident, he gave me more than 1,000 pesos. Sir, I didn't forget it. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to share all these experiences to anybody. But right now it seems like everything is, is flashbacking in front of me, and I couldn't stop crying. Because after all, God is so nice to me, and He didn't leave me. God is so nice to me that He doesn't leave me nor forsake me, and He's given me good life right now. That's why I can't stop myself being emotional. 2 years had passed, and still I didn't receive any answer from God. My relationship with Him at that time was very far. That is really the kind of situation where you can ask yourself, do you really trust God's plan when things are tough? And that happened to me before, and I thought, Lord, why are you so far away? But that was also my fault. I didn't spend a lot of time talking to God, praying to Him. But actually, even though that's the case, now I realize that that was not the plan of God for me. That He has better plans for me. That's why I said earlier, the plan of God isn't the easiest, but it is the best. Sometimes, or maybe oftentimes, we need to climb mountains. We need to cry a bucket of tears before we realize that God is with us, that He is helping us. But one thing is, do not give up. Keep on pursuing your dreams. Resent all kinds of life difficulties. Do not let the devil overcome your life, because if you do, you're gonna end up being a failure. Keep going, because once you have the Spirit with you and you are doing your best to move forward, it will happen and it will come to you. Eventually, I didn't give up. I keep on going. So earlier in the first semester of my third year, the DepEd released a new system when it comes to hiring teachers. So instead of direct school hiring, they made it localized. So all the teachers needed to undergo the demonstration and take the exam. And at that time, my life was getting tougher and tougher. I didn't have anything. I didn't have money, I didn't have food, I didn't have anything to buy. Plus, that was also the time that I had a problem with my ex. I'm so grateful that those situations happened in my life, because without those things, I wouldn't have found my beautiful family right now. So I remember at that time, I couldn't forget this. It was Inday Isulan, or Cherian Kapos right now. She gave me some of the demonstration materials because I didn't have. I only had old materials with me. I was not even prepared because I didn't sleep well. My life that time was completely a mess. In short, I didn't pass the demonstration. I failed the exam. And I was even very embarrassed to share that to anybody, even to my family, even to my colleagues. I didn't share that one to them because it was embarrassing. And that was also the point in my life where it was very hard. Because my partner before, who was also a volunteer teacher, left. I couldn't share my stories to anybody there because nobody could relate. I know they could, but it's really nice to share it to someone who has the same situation. And that made me also like so hard to accept things. And that was Manita Kaip. we're so close. She helped me a lot as well. Thank you so much. And if you're watching this, I miss you. Thank you for everything. And so I quitted. And I was very grateful. My students even cried. They went to my home. They bought food for me. And at that time, I still even didn't know where to go. I told them I needed to go abroad. I needed to change my life. What they thought was I was going abroad. But in reality, I didn't have any plans yet. I just couldn't take the hardship anymore of staying there. It's also because of my pride. I thought, oh, what if my students knew that I didn't pass the exam? That's why I wasn't able to get the item. See, pride can kill you guys. Don't ever let that pride rule over your life. And so I left. I went to Davao City. And it's so hard to apply jobs in there. I don't know anybody there. I knew people there, but they were not close to me. Where should I stay? I didn't have money. What I did, I walked over all the city, in Davao City, just walked looking for the job. And it's so hard when you don't have anything. I didn't have money to buy for the papers, for the requirements. And I was very insecure of myself because I looked so ugly, I looked so dark. I didn't have clothes to wear during the interview, and most of them just refused me. And you know, I had already the respect from my students, and it was so hard for me at that time that I felt like I was nobody. And so I just kept on going until I worked first. I don't know that place before in Davao City, the place where you exchange the money. What place was that? Somewhere in Claveria. That was after I quitted my job as a teacher. I helped someone who was selling clothes, and she was Chinese and she's very strict. But then I swallowed everything just for the sake of earning money, just to survive. And I couldn't take it anymore because the salary was only maybe 20 pesos or 30 pesos. I accepted it because it was so hard. Then I met someone and helped me to work at the convenience store. I was able to work there as a supervisor. And then I know one of my students saw me that I was working there. Although I was a supervisor there, but they wouldn't recognize you as a supervisor there because you're just a crap. And then she told everybody, oh, Mama Kapobre was just somewhere like that there in the city. Of course, I was shy about it. But then, after that, I said, no, I wouldn't stay here. This is not the kind of job that I wish to have. I will not stay here. I need to go out. I need to move and look for another opportunity. And imagine that you couldn't sleep well in there. You're using, like, you're not human at all. There was a time that I worked overtime whole evening and whole day. And because I forgot to punch in the card, they didn't give me the salary at that time because they told me that it was my fault not punching the card. And imagine that at that time I always had not having enough sleeps. How could you think well about that situation? But then I told myself, no, I will not stay here. I need to go and look for another job. And here I was again, without any money because my money was not enough to support all my needs. I walked again all throughout the city, but I prayed, God, Lord, help me so much. Help me